Hi Samylle, nice to see we have another essay from you. Let's take a look at what you wrote. This is about the Olympics and their relevance in the 21st century. Here's what you said. Nowadays, some people have debated about the importance of Olympic in the 21st century. I personally believe that Olympics loose. It's important through the years. This essay will discuss this issue using examples to support the argument. Okay, well, structurally, it's fine. But there are some grammatical errors that we have to fix and spelling errors as well. So let's look at that again. Nowadays, some people that have debated doesn't sound right with nowadays, because nowadays typically requires a certain group of tenses, so present perfect doesn't quite work here. Should probably be nowadays some people debate the importance of the Olympics in the 21st century. I personally believe that the Olympics have lost their importance through the years. This says it will discuss this issues using examples, and then that's fine, okay? So, firstly, it is important to highlight that after globalization, the world is not as segregated as before. In this sense, Olympics no longer play the role of congregate and unify the countries around the world. Okay, you've got a grammar problem here, and a word choice problem as well. These are verbs, congregate and unify. So, saying play the role of doesn't work. So, what you could have said instead is the Olympics no longer no longer cause countries to congregate and become unified. So something like that, or just change it around a little more. The Olympics no longer unify countries around the world. Get rid of this section here. With the creation of the internet, people all over the world can discuss themes of their interest without the necessity of a big world event such as the Olympics, not as it used to be, but as in the past would be better here. Therefore, the Olympics are losing with one O, or have lost their power and relevance, since there are other no S opportunities for the population of different nationalities to discuss and give visibility to political and relevant issues globally. For example, the Olympics have played an important role. No, the Olympics played, because you're telling us when. So the Olympics played an important role during the World War II, get rid of the, as an instrument of Nazism campaign. What does that mean? I mean, why is this relevant? So we're talking about unifying the world and how the Olympics used to unify the world and how it was this wonderful way for countries to convene and discuss issues. But here, what you've actually used as an example is something terribly negative. You're saying that the Olympics were basically a Nazi propaganda tool. So I don't understand how this is relevant here. Okay? At least according to what you wrote here, an instrument of Nazism campaign, of the Nazi campaign actually, but okay. So that doesn't really quite make sense to me. Another thing that is a little problematic for me in this paragraph is some of the linking of your ideas. So here you say that they no longer play this role, etc., etc. And then what would have made more sense to me is if you had said, instead, with the creation of the internet. That's missing, because it goes into a little more detail about what you just said here. So we don't need the Olympics anymore because we have something like the internet where people can exchange ideas and so forth. So that would have worked a little more. Let's say, since there are other opportunities. Yeah, and like I said again, this just felt really irrelevant to me and not really supporting your argument at all. All right, let's see. On the other hand, the Olympics still play an important role in entertainment worldwide, benefiting the media and sports industries of all the countries that participate in the event. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the Olympics have lost, L-O-S-T, its political and aggregator role, but we cannot forget its relevance in terms of entertainment, I think is what you mean. All right, this paragraph is really underdeveloped. You needed to say more. You need to go into more detail. You need to explore other areas about this, okay? Let's see. I believe that they have lost its... Okay. Now, all right, let's get into your conclusion, then we'll talk about the coherence and cohesion aspect. From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that the Olympics have changed their importance over the years, being now only an enjoyable, entertaining event and not a platform to discuss bigger and relevant subjects as they used to be. Okay, so there are grammatical issues here. Okay, grammatical errors were pretty consistent throughout the essay. They weren't such that they created a strain on the reader, but there were enough that made it consistently have errors, basically. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, as I said, this paragraph was really underdeveloped. This paragraph, just some of the ideas really didn't flow well, and this to me felt totally irrelevant. So what you're looking at there is a problem both with task achievement and with coherence and cohesion. There's another area where this essay has problems with coherence and cohesion, and that's with the order of your paragraphs. This paragraph should have been your first body paragraph. This paragraph should have been your second body paragraph. The reason is because we always talk about the side that we don't support first, and then we talk about the side that we do support. This is the side you support, so it should go closer to conclusion. All right, so this is definitely an essay I want you to correct. See if you can, revise some of these issues and improve it so that it's structured and developed correctly, okay? So let's take a look at your second essay. Okay, it looks like it's the Albion University letter, so let's see what you wrote. Dear Sir or Madam, I am writing in regard to your last letter. Firstly, I would like to apologize for my absence from the exam last week and explain the reason for that. As discussed before, I was sick on the date of the exam and was not able to attend the university as I expected. Secondly, okay, let's see. Secondly, I need to clarify that the main reason that I did not present the proof of my illness. All right, okay, we'll talk about it in a minute. Let's read it through first. On the morning of the exam, I was vomiting and really weak because of a food allergy. As I identify the cause of the allergy, I asked to a friend to buy a medicine. The medicine helped me, but as a side effect made me sleep for the whole day. As an evidence of this, he attached a letter of this friend attesting this. Once again, I apologize for the inconvenience and expect that Albion University accept the proof presented and therefore concede me another date to do the exam. Best regards. Okay. So first, let's talk about the grammar and the vocabulary in this essay, since those are the easy parts. I'd like to read the letter again, correcting some of those problems, okay? So, dear sir, madam was fine. I'm writing in regard to your letter. And here I would like you to say the purpose of that letter. So I'm writing in regard to your letter regarding my absence from the exam. I would like to apologize for my absence and explain the reasons behind it. And then I don't understand why you wrote as discussed before. Supposedly, you have not discussed it. They just know that you were absent and they want to know why. So this sentence to me felt kind of irrelevant. All right. And then I didn't really like firstly or secondly here. I think it would have been more appropriate to not include either one. All right. And so get rid of secondly and then instead say, I would like to clarify the reason why I did not present proof of my illness. On the morning of the exam, I was vomiting and really weak because of a food allergy. As I identified the cause of the allergy, I asked a friend to buy medicine, to buy me medicine. The medicine helped me, or that's a little repetitive though. This helped me, but as a side effect made me sleep the whole day. As evidence of this, see attached a letter by my friend attesting this. Okay? Once again, I apologize for the inconvenience, CE, and expect that Albion University will accept the proof presented and therefore concede me another date to, we don't do an exam, we sit an exam, or if you're American, you take an exam. Okay, so those are some of the grammar and word choice errors that I spotted. Now I want to go into some other areas of this. Now, Samylle, the problems that are really big in this letter are primarily task achievement. First of all, let's see, it should be okay. Yep, it's 163 words, so it's not too short. But I did feel like it could have been developed a little more. I felt like you could have said a little more. But there's more important problems with this exam. With this letter that we need to talk about. I want you to think about the prompt and think about the bullets and what they ask you to include. You've actually left a number of things out. First of all, you left out the last bullet. It says provide possible resolutions. Now, when it says resolutions, it means give more than one. But you only gave one. You said, let me take the exam on another day. All right, so that's not enough. All right, you cannot get above a 5 when you do something like that. Now, even more serious than that is that you completely left out the other bullet, which asks you to identify yourself. You were supposed to give your name, your student ID, and the case number, and you didn't give any of that information, and that's considered a key piece of information. So without that, your task achievement score will not be above a 4. So these are the kinds of things you really have to be aware of, really be careful about, and absolutely make sure that you have not left out a single detail from the prompt. Okay? Let's see, what else? Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care for some of this. I felt like it could have been a little more cohesively written. I think it also could have been a little more convincing. I mean, it's not really in your best interest to say, oh, I have a letter from my friend. Now, I know that a lot of people say that IELTS is not an exam that tests ideas, but you want to make sure that the ideas you do give show a high level of language skill. So saying that you had a letter from a friend, as an examiner, I would say, well, you know, maybe this is an issue of vocabulary. Maybe the student doesn't have higher vocabulary to say perhaps physician or medical personnel or something. Do you know what I mean? So because friend is a really basic word, you then get ideas into the examiner's head that perhaps you use this example about the friend because of a weakness with vocabulary. So that's the kind of thing I really want you to be careful of. All right? So go ahead and correct these, return them back to us, and let's see another set of essays from you. All right? Good luck.